Hey, Life Groups. Keenan here with week 9 of our Building Character series with King Josiah. And King Josiah is from this long line of kings through the bloodline of David. And so many of those kings, as we may know, are just people that blaze trails of destruction for the kingdom of God. They're less than obedient to the word of the Lord. And even to a point where, as we'll read in 2 Kings chapter 22 tonight, that they don't even have the word. And actually, it's one of a story that I kind of chuckle about when I read through the whole account of the high priest Hezekiah actually finding the book, the law, to be able to be read to the people as if it was just hidden and gone for decades or centuries. And yet there's a profoundness of the word, a profoundness that cuts to the heart, cuts the very marrow of the king, to the point where he knows he has a response to make. There's a removal process. There's an entire effort in the entire kingdom to be able to remove anything that is detestable to God, anything that is an idol in the hearts and minds of people that is in the way of them coming to God. And it's a full-fledged effort. And it comes to mind a story that I relate to this, where one of the conquistadors in the early findings of the New World of the South American, Central American, and North American continent, where one of the conquistadors, I believe it was Fernando Cortez, when he landed, they had already come onto the beaches. They had their little rowboats. They had their boats out in the bay. And he said, now that we've arrived here, we're going to burn these boats because there's no going back, right? And it's the adage of burn the ships. And that's what I see in Josiah, that his heart is so lit on fire for the Lord. There's no turning back to the old ways. There's no turning back to once was. It was only leaning in to God, a wholesale removal of anything preventing him and his people from approaching the throne room of the God of their ancestors and the God of that day, and for us, the God of today. So where in our lives can we remove these things? Where in our lives can we completely walk away from the things that have held us down, held us in bondage, or even held our affections, our love, our zeal for life that are misplaced, and they should be in Jesus? And so as we look at our character in Josiah, we see that there is a foretasting and a foreshadowing of the person that is Jesus, that he's the one in our lives. Jesus is the one through the gospel that removes the high places, that removes the poles of worship, that removes the idols, removes the practices that keep us from experiencing him and his Spirit and the Father. And so as you guys discuss through the chapter today or tonight, as you guys have your discussion and your prayer time, I'm hopeful that God will not only help you walk away from these things, but will identify them for you. So they bubble up within you, bubble up within me, the things that are keeping us back from experiencing full life in Jesus. So allow him to work in your hearts. Maybe have some of the difficult conversations tonight. Maybe talk through the things that you've wrestled with before or are currently wrestling with that you know are taking up your time, your effort, your energy, where it should be placed in Jesus. And pray over each other. Surround each other. Walk together. Because it's his gospel that frees us and redeems us. And there is nothing that his life, his death, and his resurrection can't cover and redeem you from. So thank you for leaning in. Welcome to week 9, and pray you have a great discussion as a group.